Hey there. Hi there. Ready for your workout, everybody? Let's do some upper body fun stuff right here. Coach Jelena got my fresh colors here for you. Compliments of my roommate. Gotta keep it fresh, gotta keep it fit. We're gonna warm it up first, everybody. Fit Body Boot Camp style, 30 seconds each one. External shoulder rotations, here we go. Elbows back. Now we're gonna go nice and vertical with those arms. Come back down to that 90-degree angle and then nice and flat. Feeling good activation in that upper body. You need a little bit more before you get started. You got a stiff shoulder, maybe slept on it wrong. That's what I'm feeling a little bit right there. Gotta work it well today. So I'm gonna be doing these first 4 warm-up moves with you. Well, there are 4, and you're gonna be cycling back through those warm-up moves while I continue to show you our workout, which is on this board here. Windmills is next, so nice wide stance, toes to the opposite corners there, and then we're going straight arm, reach down, shift that hip back, straight legs. Alrighty, so we do have a freestyle, 2-station freestyle setup for you today. So that means the first 2 stations have 2 moves at them, and the third and final station is the freestyle where there's 4 moves. So you're gonna be going for 35 seconds each exercise and 3 rounds. That's the same all the way through. 2 hands on your 1 foot, reaching back here, so we're getting a nice quad stretch. Also, you can kind of open up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, get a nice stretch for your shoulders, and chest and back a little bit along with the quad. So just a few seconds on one side, test your balance a little bit here, feel a good stretch, and across here and along the back as well. I like this one. So like I was saying, 35 seconds is what you're gonna work for each exercise. We're doing seal jacks next. Nice, open up, or you can bend the arms, jump through or tap through. So if you need to tap it, you got that option. Let's get it warmed up. No matter what you do, open up that chest. So 3 rounds is all you're gonna go through, all our moves today. So the freestyle station is gonna feel like one big long station for you today. And the first 2 stations, seems how there's only 2 moves at them. It's gonna go a little bit faster. All right, external shoulder rotation. Take it back, rotate, glide up. Nice and strong and careful, always thinking about yourself and your form. Keep that going, 30 seconds of that one total. All right, we got a couple weights we're working with today. So our first move we're doing is a bent over row. So we're gonna have feet hip distance apart, and then you're going to shift the hips back without rotating your tailbone and arching your back. So you're going to tuck up under that tailbone, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, shift the hips back, and then get your bent over row in. Your next warm up is that windmill. Please move on to those windmills with that wide stance, please. All right, so that bent over row, nice flat back. We have extended arms. We're gonna take those elbows up past the ribs and then extend it back down, squeezing those back muscles, feeling it in those shoulder blades, and come back down. You can take a staggered stance there if you need to. Second move going with that on the first station is a double arm snatch. So we're gonna have a little bit wider stance, more about shoulder distance apart. You're moving onto your 2 hands, 1 foot. So for this one, you're going to sit into a squat here, but you're making sure to not be looking down, you're looking forward. You're gonna press into your legs, and then both arms float up overhead, right over those shoulders, and then bring it down nice and careful, especially if you have heavy weights. Keep those weights close to your body as they come down. Then you're gonna reset, and then do that again, taking that upward motion nice and overhead. Alrighty, then we're gonna come down to the ground for the start of station 2. Please move on to your seal jacks for your warm up. Okay, so for renegade rows, you can go row, row, push up, or push up, row, row. That is up to you. So you're gonna have a wider stance with the legs here. So I have my legs, my feet well wider than shoulder width, and hands are under shoulders. I'm going to row with one arm, set it down, row with the other, and then come on down for a push-up. If you're modifying this one, you can do the row off your toes if you can, or if you need to, off the knees, and then the push-up off the knees. Moving on to your external shoulder rotations, please. So of course your push-up, if you're off the knees, you're making sure your hips are not directly over your knees. You're gonna shift those hips forward and then kind of come through your weights. So don't think about going straight down. You're going forward and through a little bit. All right, so that's our renegade row. And then we're gonna couple that with high pulls. So for that one, we're going to do palms facing your body. If you have heavy weights, you definitely want to use your legs here. Please move on to your windmills. So you're gonna do a little quarter squat here, and then as you extend, you're going to use that momentum to bring it on up here. I got a little overzealous. Elbows are leading, so if you have weights where you can just straight lift it, that's gonna be like this. And then if you need a little momentum from those legs, if you have heavy weights, you're gonna press into the legs a little bit, almost like you're doing a little quarter squat, and then take those elbows up, guide it down. Now moving on to the freestyle station. We're gonna start off on our back there, and you're moving on to your 2 hands, 1 foot, I believe, because you just did your windmills. Okay, so keep warming up your body. You wanna make sure you're nice and warm for your workout. Chest presses are first. So for this one, if you have a ball, go ahead and get your upper back on that ball. Either way, you're gonna tuck up under your tailbone, squeeze the glutes, and have a nice position, nice stable for your back. So for your chest press, especially if you have heavy weights, I want you to make this shape with your weights, kind of a 90-degree angle with the corners there. You're on your seal jacks, I believe, for your warm-up. Okay, so for that chest press, we got that 90-degree angle. We got that nice alignment of the spine. You're gonna bring it down to where the weights are coming near your bend in your arm or by your armpits there, and then press on up. So elbows down, and then squeeze and press for that chest press. For the close grip chest press, our second one, you're gonna press the weights together here. You're going to bring it down more over the ribs or the midsection. Please move on to external shoulder rotations for your warm-up. And so here's your close grip chest press. And then you're gonna switch to skull crusher, which you can keep the weights pressed together if you like, or you can have them separate or side by side, or if you have a heavier weight and we're watching out for your triceps here, you can get your skull crusher in right here. And then of course, I'll show you how to advance that one when we get there. And then the last one, you're going to tuck your toes underneath your weight here. You can set them down on there, or you can tuck your toes under. Please move on to your next warm-up. Are we back to windmills? It's okay, just get one of those warm-up moves in, and this is our last one to show you. So you're gonna tuck your toes under to kind of anchor you. You're gonna lean back so you're nice and reclined, and then pulse in this position for that pulsing crunch. If you only have light weights, that's all you have, and you need to tuck your feet under a stable piece of furniture or something else like that, or maybe you're working out with a buddy and they wanna stand on your toes, then you can go ahead and do that pulsing crunch right in the middle there. All right, we're warmed up, we're ready to go. Grab your water. We're going to get this party started officially here, starting off with those bent over rows first. So we're gonna be in that position, taking those elbows up. All right, 35 seconds of fun coming your way, everybody. All righty, here we go. Grab those weights, get yourself set up. Bent over rows in 3, 2, here we go. All right, feet are hip distance apart. Shift those hips back, but remember, we're not arching the back. Nice flat back. And here we are keeping our arms tight to the side, so try not to flare those elbows out. Think about almost like scraping the inner arm against your sides. It's staying nice and tight here. Good. If you need that staggered stance for your back, you can take it, but to protect your back, it's better to tuck up under here, squeeze core and glutes, and then get into position. Last few seconds, go strong, get that upper back. Woo! Okay, double arm snatch here. We're gonna sit into that squat. Weights are facing the legs here. All right, sit into that squat, press into the legs, and then float those weights all the way up overhead, and then carefully bring them back down. So weights start facing you, and then they come on up, and then just at the very end there, the palms start facing away. So right here, I'll show you from the side, press on into it, and then nice overhead. Making sure, again, not to arch that back and lift the ribs. We wanna keep them down, nice strong core. Give me 7 more seconds here for that double arm snatch. Press and float, weights going right over the shoulders. All right, great round one. Let's go for round two and get those bent over rows in. All right, feet hip distance apart. Set yourself up, squeeze. All right. We have a nice proud chest. So we're trying to have a straight line from front of your shoulder across your collarbone to the other front of the shoulder there. So that means that we're not rounding here, letting those shoulders cave in at all. Squeezing. If you had a peanut in a shell between your shoulder blades, you are cracking it open there. Squeeze. 5 more seconds here. Keep it going. Breathe through it. All right. Very nice. Okay. Ready for the next one, double arm snatch. I'm gonna show you again one from the side. So we're sitting into that squat. Weight is in the heels, chest is up. Press into those legs, float the weights up, nice and strong. So you are using leg momentum to help you with those weights. So if you're thinking, I can't lift whatever weight you have overhead, you're not doing a straight lift where you're only using your upper body. Use your legs. Use your full body, use that momentum, that upward momentum to carry it up nice and strong. Give me a few more seconds here. You can get 1 or 2 more reps in. Nice. All right, that's round 2. Let's get round 3 going with those bent over rows. All kinds of buff, look at you. All right, reset yourself, shoulders down and back. You're watching out for that back. So we're drawing in our navel towards our spine to protect our low back. Nice strong core. If you need to do a staggered stance, I want you to really protect yourself. Curve it on in here, and you can take that staggered stance. Just make sure you're nice and aligned. Toes are both forward. Either way, 8 more seconds here. Keep it up, keep it up. You want to have your chest parallel to the floor if you can to really work that back, not overwork those traps. All right. Last time on that double arm snatch. Set yourself up, shoulders down and back. Here we go. Sit into it. Press into those legs. And as you do that, those weights are going up overhead. Solid, solid. Good. Woo. All right. This is a fun one. We like it. Try to make sure those weights end up right over your shoulders. Bring it down nice and careful. In for that, in for that next rep. Get that nice strong coordination in. You got this. 5 more seconds. Count it. Bonus time right here is the last few seconds. Woo! Good. You get bonus points in those last few seconds. Definitely. All right, we're gonna kick off the next station. After we have a sip of water, we're gonna start off in that high plank position on the ground here. Feet are gonna be wide, toes down or knees down. Your pattern is either push up, row, row, or row, row, push up. Alrighty. Set yourself up, friends. Here we go. All right, nice stable position. Feet are wide, ready for the first 35 seconds. Here we go. Okay, hands under shoulders. You wanna try to row without wiggling those hips. So squeeze everything you got, row with control. Or if you wanna start with that push up and then push up, down and up. If you're modifying fully, you can be in this position where the knees are well behind the hips. Row, row, and push up. You got 11 seconds left, everybody. Nice middle ground right here. Row on your toes and then push up on the knees. Get it going, get it going. Almost. All right, we're gonna stand it on up for those high pulls. Okay, shoulders down and back. You got this. Okay, if you need leg momentum because your weights are heavy, you're going to press into the legs and try to lead with those elbows. If your weights aren't super heavy, then you can go ahead and do this one. Just make sure you're not rounding at all. You're nice, great with the posture there, and you're making sure the elbows are leading. Again, if you need assistance from the legs, you're gonna have a little bend in the knees, a little bend in the hips, and as you press into them, just like we did with that double arm snatch, then you're going to get a little boost in. You might even go for a little sumo squat high pull, a mini sumo squat. Oh, come on down for those renegade rows, everybody. Come on down. Whoo, the price is right. So we got to come on down. If this is hurting your hands, then have your hands next to your weights, and then you can row, set it down, row, set it down, and then push up off the knees or the toes. You got it. Good work, everybody. Solid. Change up that lead arm. Try not to always start with the right side. I was doing that there. I'm gonna switch it up here on this next one. All right, we got 5 seconds to go. Pump, pump. Make sure you're breathing. Chest down together with those hips. Moving plank. That's you in that push-up. Alrighty, high pull time. Whew. Okay, good. Reset. You're either going for it, depending on your weights, without any assistance from your legs, or if you need it, you can do a little bit more of a sumo squat if you want to, just to kind of get your legs out of the way. For that sumo squat, if you are using that little dip, you could do a little regular squat, but you kind of keep your weights close to the thighs. It's a little bit awkward if you're not used to the move. So you might want to move the legs out of the way for that sumo squat. That might be more awkward for some. So just do what you can here. If you need to move to one weight, if you have really heavy weights, you're having trouble, you can do one. Come on down for that last time on that renegade row. Alrighty. Oh, I started on the right side. Let's get the left side start some. Switch it up. You got to add in a little variety for yourself. Whatever works for you. I like changing it up. Off the knees or off the toes, whatever you have the best form with and the best range of motion. If you can only go this far off your toes, I recommend you come down to your knees so you can get a bigger range of motion when you're doing that push-up. 7 more seconds here. Squeeze everything, hold the hips still while you do those rows. Nice. Okay, last time on those high pulls. Woo! All right, I'm getting heated here. Okay, so you're either doing that straight pull or you're using the legs a little bit for some help. So as you press into those legs, you are doing that nice lift. If you need to do one weight here, make sure you're not curving in. You still have the shoulders down and back. Elbows are leading here, so try to make sure you're not going right on the same plane. We want the elbows to be leading the way, working it right here in that upper back. Good. You got this. 2 more seconds to go. Take it up. Woo! All right, we're through station 1 and 2, and we're moving on to that freestyle station next. So we're gonna come on down to the back. If you have a mat, go ahead and lay on your mat. Maybe you got a nice cushy towel on your cozy carpet. That'll work. Okay, so for the first chest press, we're keeping distance between the weights. So go ahead and bend your knees, plant your feet here, and then the shape of the weights, especially if they're heavy, is going to be like this. A lot of times people will hold them side by side. That's okay, but we want to practice holding them so they make a 90-degree angle. That way, when you up the weight, you're already ready to protect your shoulders. Here we go. We're going for that chest press, so tuck up under there. Make sure you're not arching your back and lifting your ribs. Press it down, and we're bringing those elbows down and pressing. Another thing I see a lot with chest presses is people will be pushing more over their face than over their chest. So you can compromise your shoulder that way, and you want to make sure you're more over your chest and ribs than you are your shoulders and face. Some people are way up here, so bring it down. The corner of the weights is going towards your armpit or the front of your shoulder. Last few right here. Okay, now we're gonna press the weights together. This is especially nice if you have heavy weights here. Press them together, they're gonna stay glued together. Pretend they're glued together, arms up and down here so they're staying close to your sides. If you can, you tap those elbows down. If you have a bench at home or a stability ball, go ahead and put your back on the stability ball. Actually, you can do it for all 3 moves. You can even get some glute work there while you're in a tabletop position. Nicely done. Last few here, you feel this one more in the triceps, shoulders down away from the ears. Bring it down above the ribs and press back up. All right, skull crush, you can keep those weights pressed together or separate. You're starting with the weights. Make sure the ribs are down. Weights are over the shoulders, either pressed together or separate. And then you're gonna bend at the elbow, bring the weights towards your forehead and then back up. If you have a very heavy weight, please don't use both. Start with just one, and you can cup the ends of the weight there, drawing the elbows close together. Or if you're comfortable, you can put your hands underneath that weight as long as that feels stable. Watch yourself. Triceps are a small muscle, so don't overdo it if you have super heavy weights here. Make sure you're not reaching with your shoulders. If you have a really light weight, you can take your elbows past and take it up overhead a little bit more for that one. Oh, I almost forgot to set us up for that pulsing crunch. If you're comfortable putting the weights on your toes, don't hurt yourself. You're gonna do that and then recline right here. So that's anchoring you. If your weights, maybe you only have 5-pound weights, then you can tuck yourself underneath something else. Maybe you have another stable piece of furniture. Tuck your toes under and try to get this middle ground right here. Try to keep your back off the ground. If you're more on the top half of it and that's challenging you, well, that's okay. If you're floating a little bit more above the ground, that's all right also. Just make sure you're trying to get somewhere in the middle there. Woo! All right, let's grab those weights again. We're gonna go back to that first version of the chest press where we're making that 90-degree angle shape with our weights. All right, here we go. Good positioning, rocking round 2. So now that we know what to do, we can kind of get into it a little bit more here. Check in with yourself. Make sure you're not creating a bunch of tension in your neck and shoulders here. You're squeezing your pec muscles together as you press up for that chest press, and you feel engagement in your back as you guide those weights down and even squeeze and press up. So everything's working together here. You're almost done with those 35 seconds. Woohoo! All right, little breather. We're gonna press those weights together for the close grip chest press now. So they're staying glued together and palms are facing each other. Press it up. So when I'm bringing these down, where my hands are is almost at the bottom of my ribs actually. So everybody's torso is a little bit different, but think about not bringing it directly so your wrists are probably gonna touch your ribs versus the sides of your chest. There you go. Squeeze, almost there. Good, breathing through it, that's the way. Ooh, yeah. All right, one weight or two for those skull crushes. If you're going to one, you're cupping the ends here. Keep those weights, try keeping the weights over your shoulders and then bringing the weight just to your hairline and back up. If you have super light weights, then you can go ahead and bend, take it back, even maybe tap the floor. If you have light weights, do not do that with too heavy a weight, or if you have tricep issues or tendonitis or anything like that. We don't want to be too rough on you. So you have that option. If you only have light weights, to make it more challenging is take the elbows past the shoulder. Otherwise, protect yourself. Keep those elbows directly over your shoulder. All right, let's place those weights on the toes for that pulsing crunch. And remember, tuck your feet under a piece of furniture, or maybe you have a friend working out with you, somebody passing by, say, hey, come on over here. I need some weight on my toes, hook me up. Good. If you are having somebody stand on your toes, you do want them a little bit more on your shoelaces, more than just the tips of your toes, because then the weight's more spread out over your feet and it's not too uncomfortable. Give me 6 more seconds here. Nice, you can cross or you can reach, keep pulsing, floating in the middle there. All right, last time on those chest presses, here we go. Remember, we're making that 90-degree angle shape with the weights. We're trying to tuck up under that tailbone. Ribs are pressed down into the floor. Navel's drawn into the spine. So we have an awesome, stable base that we're working with right here. Woo-woo, good. It would be fun if I was on a bench or a ball right now. If you have one, you should totally try it out. And then you're working that tabletop position, squeezing the glutes if you're on one. Knees are right over the ankles. All right, if you're on the ball or the bench, that is. Okay, now we're going close grip. Press them together. All righty. squeeze right here. You are practicing challenge, everybody. We want to really try to thrive best we can in that challenge zone. Give ourselves optimal conditions here. If at any time you're having issues or something's really aggravating you, then kind of get yourself back to a peaceful place and come on back in so you can enjoy the workout. Let's go, let's go. So close. Woo! Feeling it in the triceps on the back of those upper arms. And then we're gonna tax them again with that skull crusher. So if you're feeling it more as this one goes on, you are not getting weaker. It's just stacking all the moves on top of each other. So if you feel it more, don't judge yourself. That is normal here. Remember, you could have two weights that you're doing, palms facing each other, curling here, or kind of like a reverse curl with that skull crush, bringing it down and then coming on up. If your weights are lighter, then you could always bend, keep it 90 degree, take it over the head a little bit, bring it back, elbows over shoulders, and then back up. Nice, you got options here. Good, watch those ribs, don't let them lift. All right, here's our last one for the freestyle station. Let's have those toes anchored underneath something, whether it's the weights or a piece of furniture. Resituate yourself if you need to, so you have a nice distance between your heels and where you're seated. If you're on the upper half here and you're doing these little pulses and it's too easy, take it farther back. All right, good. Still too easy, take it back, but keep your back up off the ground. I don't know if my shirt looks like it's touching, but my back is up off the ground. Good, try not to overwork your hips here. Make your abs work, last few seconds. Yow, yow. All right, free your feet. Okay, we do not need the weights for our finisher, folks. We have 3 moves and we're just gonna go for 35 seconds, each of those 3 moves. And yeah, we're gonna go for 2 rounds. So let's get that set up on the timer here. There it is. Okay, sip of water to kick it off. Let's do that. So our 3 moves are a low plank hip dip, sorry, I was doing one of those awkward water drinks. So I was like trying to be shy over here because I was like all weird. Okay. And then I just showed you anyway, so much for discretion. All right, so for the first one, it's a low plank hip dip. So we're gonna have our elbows right underneath those shoulders, and then you can be off the toes here. My feet are a little bit separated, so I can kind of sway my feet side to side and take my hips down towards the ground. If you're modifying, you'll be off the knees here, and then do that same sway side to side, and the feet kind of shift. So that is my low plank hip dip, and then I'm going to couple that. If you have a water bottle or you want to set your weight vertical, this is an awesome one to have a marker to reach for. So if you're doing that, your hands, elbows are underneath the shoulders again, you're in a low plank and you're reaching for an object, trying to keep those hips still so they want to wobble, and you're going to hold them nice and steady. And same thing if you're off your knees are well back behind your hips. And then last one, push-ups, you know that one. So we're going on the hands here, either off the toes or off the knees in a nice moving plank, nice and solid. Alrighty, so 2 rounds through, we're gonna start off with those low plank hip dips first. Here we go, let's hit it. Elbows are down. We're acting like there's an invisible kettlebell underneath our belly button, and we're going up and over it. If you're on your knees, make sure your knees are way back behind the hips. They're not directly underneath, and you're letting those feet sway side to side. Good. This is our finisher, folks. We got 2 rounds of this one. Keep your game face on. Whoo! Nice. Those shoulders are burning. We worked them today. We're getting them a little bit more here. Last few seconds. Stay right here. Good burn. All right, little stretch in between. Little child's pose here. All right, we're going back to the elbows. And you're either off your knees or off your toes. And you're gonna reach for something, or just reach forward. If you can fully extend the arm, great. If you can only go a little bit, that's okay. Work your way up to a full extension. All right, you're stabilizing the hips. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Reach and reach, either off the knees or off the toes. Have your feet or your knees a little bit apart so you have some stabilization when you go to that one arm. Last few seconds here. If your shoulders are injured, go off the knees. Now we're doing push-ups. All right, a little roll out here. Roll out. Okay. Set yourself up. Feet can be together or apart, and you're gonna bring your chest and hips down and back up together. Same thing if you're off your knees. Make sure your hands aren't way out in front. Bring them in and think about going forward and through. If you wanna know where to put your hands, when your chest is down on the ground, make sure those fingertips aren't way out in front of those shoulders. They should be at your shoulders or a little bit behind for your push-up. Last few seconds to go. Come on, come on. Alrighty, good. That is round one. We got one more round to go. Let's go back to that low plank hip dip. This is our speed round here, friends. We're gonna go 30 seconds each exercise. Here we go, low plank hip dip. See if you can stay on your toes the whole time, or if you're watching out for those shoulders, you're on your knees. Either way, the heels are shifting side to side if you're on your toes, and then they're really kind of like windshield wipers if you're off your knees. Try to bring that hip down, going up and over. You're doing great here. Try to make sure that your hips aren't up in the air and they're not too low. Watch yourself. All right, little stretch. We're going back in. Let me pause that. Give us a couple seconds. We're gonna go back into that low plank for our reach forward. Alternating right arm, left arm. Here we go. 30 seconds here. It's this one and one more, and we are good to go. For that plank, you wanna tuck up under here. You really wanna squeeze, just like somebody's gonna surprise tickle you or hit you in the stomach. So you kind of clinch up under that tuck, squeeze the glutes, 8 more seconds. Hold strong, friends. You have got this. I know it burns. I'm feeling you. Last few seconds. Get it. Woo. All right. We got push-ups last. Little stretch. We got this. Okay. Set yourself up. Off the knees or off the toes. And here we goes. Go for it here. I want you to think about moving your chest and hips as one unit, down and then up, without turning the hands in and flaring those elbows out. We don't want to have the hands super, super wide either. You don't also want to go down and then just pick up your chest and leave your hips behind. You really want to make sure you're protecting your back. Down together and up together. If you can't get a big range of motion, come down to your knees, get a big range of motion, nice and strong right here. Woo! We did it. All right. We are just past that 30-minute mark, friends. So let's take a sip of water, stretch it out together. That was a good one. Whew, my straw is stuck. I got it. Okay, a couple stretches before you go. Whew. You could be kind of sitting on your heels here or on your knees, or come down and have a seat. And let's open it up right here. Very good. Whew. Shoulders down away from the ears. Kind of take one ear to one shoulder if that feels good to you. And to the other side gently. Let's go back to the original side, or you can just keep it there if you don't want to go side to side. Whew, okay. Let's do a child's pose for the next stretch. So that means knees are apart, feet are closer together, palms are down, elbows are up. So you're pressing into that meaty part of the palm, or more so that L between your pointer finger and your thumb. And then the other fingers are there just for light grip. You can feel this one definitely in your shoulders, upper back, down your lats, because you did a lot of upper body work today. Nice job. Let's go ahead and thread the needle with the left arm. Take that left arm through, left shoulder down, left palm up, While that right hand stays overhead. Good work. We're gonna get the other side in just a few seconds, and then we got one more stretch, and we're gonna call it a great day. Thank you so much for joining in on this fabulous Fit Body workout. You're the one who made it fabulous. Thanks for doing it. Let's switch now. Both hands forward. Now lace it through the needle here with the right arm, with the right shoulder down and right palm up. You can rest your head down here, or you can let it float if you prefer. That's up to you. Getting a nice stretch in your hips, kind of opening up your back a little bit. You can even walk those fingers farther away of that hand that's still overhead. All right, last stretch that we're doing together anyway. If your upper body is tight, or you tend to hold more tension in your upper body, please do more stretches than what we're providing here. We're just trying to wrap it up at about 30 minutes. If you can lace your fingers, then go ahead and lace them right here. If not, then you can just press your palms up here and get a little stretch, or even put your hands like on a chair or something like that, on a piece of furniture, and see if you can dip down on that, get a little bend so the furniture is lifting, if you can't lift on your own here. Woo! I needed this one. Alrighty, thank you so much for being a part of this workout. Let's continue the stretch for our last few seconds here. That was a good one. And very soon, another good one is coming right at you. So we will see you quite soon for that next good one.